Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Last of Us. We are now in the winter chapter with young Ellie here. Joel is currently unavailable. He's incapacitated after his injury at the university. So, this is the one and only chapter in the main game where we get to play as Ellie. So, the objective here is to try and hunt down the buck so that we can bring it back and feed ourselves. Now, before I go too far, what I want to do is I want to have a look at Ellie's artifacts. Ellie has her own unique set of items in her backpack, and you're required to look at and view all of them in order to add them to your artifact list. Now, these can be kind of tricky. Some of them will have a commentary by Ellie, and some of them won't. But if you don't inspect them fully and get the commentary by her or the comment, then it doesn't seem to count even though you've looked at them. So I would recommend zooming in on them and reading them if possible to get a comment from her. I do believe she says something about every single one of them except for the 3 joke books.
I miss you.
So she'll talk about her friend Riley's Firefly pendant.
I was so stupid. I should have said something different to you.
That's, of course, the robot that Sam had, and she had made the comment that she had forgotten to put it on his grave.
I should try to fix this.
Her broken Walkman. And here we have a note from Ellie's mother that was handwritten to Ellie. And if you go ahead and read it,
I'm trying to make you proud.
You can scroll through it and you can see by reading it that Ellie's mom died very, very young. It looks like shortly even after she was born. That's kind of sad. You never really hear much about Ellie's background. It's a lot about Joel and a lot about what kind of goes on in the world around you, but it's kind of nice to see these different items of Ellie's and to get some insight. So there's her switchblade, which we've seen her use time and time again. And then finally, it looks like she has the photo of Joel and Sarah.
I should have given this to you when I had the chance.
So, which I'm assuming she probably stole from Tommy when we were at the dam. So once we've had a look at all of those things, we can start to go after the buck. So you can see it in the distance there, you can chase it down, and you can use the bow and arrow to hunt it. Make sure not to get too close to scare it away, but close enough, of course, that you're going to be able to hit it. And this is kind of scripted in a way. We have to hit this a certain amount of times. We have to chase it around, follow the blood trail, and try and hunt it down. Although I think it is an absolutely great idea to have the player play as Ellie, I don't have a lot of fun playing as Ellie, I guess. This is probably one of my least favorite chapters. If you're kind of a hardcore type of gamer and you like a challenge, then I think this is probably one of the better chapters. We don't have anything in our inventory. We don't have any of the upgrades that we used with supplements, and we're very, very limited in our weapons and our abilities, so you kind of start off a lot weaker, which is completely understandable. It makes sense. I can understand why they did that, but it does add a very difficult and kind of frustrating element to this part of the game. Once you've shot at the deer a total of 3 times, I do believe we just have to follow the blood trail, and it will trail off to a path on the right-hand side that we can go down, and we can chase it further. There's also a lot of enemy gauntlets, and you have to be very, very careful. I find it very easy to mess up in this chapter and to die because of it. But if you do enjoy this chapter, then it's going to be good for you because it's relatively
How are
long.
you still alive?
And we do get a huge development on Ellie's character. So we can follow the blood trail. It'll go over this fence. We can see that the deer is still bleeding. And it leads into what looks like sort of a town or something like that. Some sort of settlement. I do believe this is actually supposed to be an old sawmill or something like that.
This place is not creepy at all.
Now, because our inventory is completely empty, you can come into this room off to the side and pick up some supplies. And in this drawer, there should be a comic. I don't know why it's not showing up for me, but there is a comic in that drawer. It's possible it's just not showing up for me because I've already picked it up. If I was Ellie, I would get the hell out of here because Joel is injured. We're in a weakened state, and if we run into people, we are totally screwed.
Oh.
But at least we found our deer.
Who's there? Come out!
Hello? We just want to talk.
Any sudden moves and I put one right between your eyes. Ditto for buddy boy over there. What do you want?
Name's David. This here's my friend James. We're from a larger group. Women, children. They're all very, very hungry.
So am I. Women and children, all very hungry too.
Well, maybe we could, trade you for some of that meat there. What do you need? Weapons? Ammo? Clothes?
Medicine! Do you have any antibiotics?
We do. Back at the camp. You're welcome to follow us
I'm
back.
not following you anywhere. Buddy boy can go get it. He comes back with what I need. The deer is all yours. Anyone else shows up...
You put one right between my eyes.
That's right.
2 bottles of the penicillin in a syringe. Make it fast. Go on.
I'll take that rifle.
Of course.
Back up.
It's probably gonna be a while. You, mind if we take some shelter from the cold?
Bring him with us.
There. You know, you really shouldn't be out here all on your own.
I don't like company.
I see. What's your name?
Why?
Look, I understand it's not easy to trust a couple of strangers. Whoever's hurt, you clearly care about them. I'm sure it's gonna be just fine.
We'll see. You had another gun?
Sorry. Hey, I'd really like my rifle back now.
No, you have your pistol.
Hope you know how to use that thing.
I've had some practice.
No matter what, we have to keep them out.
Alright, so now we have our first gauntlet type section. I would definitely recommend grabbing the first aid kit in the locker before you attempt this because Ellie has a much lower health than Joel, and if you get grabbed or you get hit, there's a pretty high probability that it's going to take out a large chunk of your health. Ellie has the rifle at her disposal, and she also has the bow and arrow, so it's up to you whatever it is you want to use. I think that the rifle is a lot more effective, assuming that you have ammo for it, of course. If not, you can always use the bow and arrow. David will help you. He has his pistol, of course. And he's also a really good distraction, because if he gets grabbed by an enemy, they'll be completely focused on him, which will allow you to actually run up and kill whatever it is that's attacking him with melee. Now, I don't recommend attacking any of these guys with melee on your own, because as you can see there, I took 1 or 2 hits and I'm already halfway down to yellow. You get a little break here in between resting period. You can reload all of your guns, heal up whatever it is that you need to do, and then you have kind of round 2 with some enemies, and they're going to start throwing some clickers into the mix just to make things more fun for us. So this is kind of what I mean with this chapter. There's a lot of this going on. This is definitely not going to be our last enemy gauntlet. But we did pretty well. We got a couple more to deal with here. Managed to keep our rifle ammo up. Haven't had to use the bow and arrow yet, thankfully. Ah, crap. I thought it was going to go for David. Went for me. I haven't had an opportunity to show off Ellie's awesome melee finisher yet. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but either way, I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to dick around and get myself hurt just to show it off, but she gets pretty up in their face with the knife, and she gets pretty aggressive, which is interesting to see.
Here, use this.
Running a little bit low on ammo. I think David will also give you ammo if you run low, which is really, really helpful. I don't know if he does that on higher difficulties, but on easy and normal, I think definitely he does. And of course, after a while, you'll be able to get out of the room. You can follow David, and you can try and escape from all of these lovely hordes of infected. I'm gonna grab the ammo that's in this drawer here so I can actually use my handgun.
Great.
I'm gonna have a look around for some supplies, because right now I don't have the ability to make Molotovs or nail bombs or a first aid kit, which I really need at this point.
How are you holding up?
You don't need to worry about me.
All right. Stay close.
I'm glad that Joel has taught Ellie so well. Ow.
Hey kid, you all right?
I'm fine.
Because you could see in the cutscene with David and his companion that she was very, very cautious. She wasn't quick to trust him, certainly. And she's really doing a lot for her own survival. I mean, she really does do well to hold her own. And I completely would do the same in her shoes. I mean, in her travels with Joel, she's seen that strangers are very, very hard to trust. I certainly wouldn't trust somebody who's as friendly as David. I think he's a little bit too friendly, comes off as being a little bit too nice. He comes off as being almost a little creepy, and he might have some sort of other motive that we're not aware of. So I think that we really, really do need to keep a very, very close eye on David. But unfortunately, we're caught in a situation where we don't have a lot of choice in being able to get his help or not. We're trapped here, and we have to take care of these clickers and find our way back to him, and hopefully we'll be able to honor our trade at the very least. Hopefully nothing suspect happens and we're able to at least trade the meat for antibiotics. It would be really, really nice if we would be able to reunite Joel and Ellie for sure. So in this section you have a couple of different choices. I kind of just like to take out the clickers because I feel like the less clickers the better. You can completely sneak around them if you want. You can throw bricks and distract them if you want to do that too. Remembering, of course, that Ellie does not have shivs at her disposal and we do not have any of the upgrades. While her knife is great, it only works when you're able to sneak up on a clicker. If it's attacking you or it's coming at you and it notices you and it manages to grab you, it's going to be an instant death. So I managed to take care of the other clickers and the first section relatively easy. Drop down, grab these supplies, and we're pretty much home free at this point. We just have one single clicker here in our way to take care of, which shouldn't be a problem. And luckily they've made it pretty easy for us to stealth this entire section. There shouldn't really be any sort of need to use firearms. They give you all sorts of things at your disposal, and if necessary, if you really do have to attack, then I would recommend the bow because, of course, it's stealth.
You alright?
There you are.
So we've made our way back to David, saved our ass again from that clicker. There's some more supplies here we can pick up.
So close. We need to get up there.
You can see that he's also taken out a few of them on his
That
own.
ladder could work.
And it looks relatively safe for now. We need to find a way to get that ladder.
Here, come here, boost me
So
up.
naturally, of course, taking the high road and having a look for it and dropping it down is the most logical thing to do.
You be quick, and you keep a lookout for those things.
I know.
So I'll probably call it here. This seems like a pretty good place to stop because right now it is safe, and we will continue on in the next video. Thanks for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.